Okay, I think we could probably get started. Um, I think we've got a few highlights. I think from the past few weeks, I think a lot of the work has been going into segmented and distributed indexes, um, which I think is notable in the features. Um, and also, it looks like we have like a Arrow and DataFusion upgrade. It's probably one of the main breaking changes. Does anyone want to call it anything? I think the other piece of work, I think we might have a little bit of work uh, going into um, stable row ID. And I think hopefully we should have some more work going into that. I think we noted a while ago that there's been quite a few sort of performance issues reported with that. And I think we still need to do more work to solve the remaining ones.
Are these notes since the last sync or since the last release?
I'm not sure. I think Jack put them together. But that's actually a good point because it's been 4 weeks since the last sync, I think.
Okay. Says, yeah, the one of those is not in the release. And then I would add, since the last release, we've done a fair amount on avoiding the sort of ambiguous merge insert errors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too. Okay. But yeah, I think that's all the main stuff we wanted to highlight from the activity in the repo. Do you want to talk about the upcoming release?
Yeah, release candidate's there. It's ready to vote on. I was waiting to vote on it until I finished doing some regression performance testing. Finished the testing. There's still a few more things to investigate. But assuming that goes well, then this could release pretty quickly if we can get some votes. This will be the first release where 2.1 is the default file format and not 2.0, I think. So we may see some changes coming up, or just something to be aware of as bugs come in. Otherwise, yeah, there's that one issue with the coalesce function that isn't in the release, but I didn't think it was worth holding up the release for. We could just do a hotfix after the release gets out.
Okay. Yeah, excited to have the 2.1 be the default now. Remind me, out of curiosity, is 2.2 stable now, or is that okay?
Yeah, 2.2 is stable. I believe we have 2.3 created as the next. I don't think anything's been done for 2.3 yet.
Okay. Cool.
And we have added, if anyone wants to play with it, some experimental batch size bytes to go in the new features for the next release. The first phase of that is done, which is basically guessing and then correcting based on what it's seen. It's not, if you have, that's what I'm looking for. The first batch will usually be off if you have any strings or anything like that. And then if your strings have a lot of variation in them, it's not going to be super accurate. I'm hoping to improve that going forwards, but it's something that can be played around with.
Yeah. I guess quick question on that, is that adaptive at all? Like say I have a data set where for the first like million rows it's like mostly empty strings, and then I started or nulls, and then after that I started filling it in with actual larger strings.
Yeah, so it'll look at the batches it's seen so far and use that to make a guess as to what's coming next. It's not just the last one. It kind of like, if the last one was 50 megabytes and now this one's 60 megabytes, I think it'll jump up to 60 megabytes, but then if the next one's like 40, it'll fall down to like 50, so it doesn't fall down quite as quickly as it.
Oh, nice.
It bounces around and it tries to guess. It tries to adapt.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like it.
Oh, and with the DataFusion upgrades, sorting, I believe all known sorting bugs that I've investigated are fixed. So we should not see the spill pool exhausted thing going forward unless you have one row that is larger than your spill pool.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Cool. I think we can probably move on from the release then. We have one discussion topic about the governance of like the Lance Flink project. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss?
Thanks to Flink people didn't try the meeting.
Okay. Well, in that case, just wanted to ask, I think there was someone asking in Discord, I think it was Vova Kolmakov, asking about the Flink. It seems like it's been less active, and maybe they were wondering if we could grant them sort of like write and merge access on that repo. I'm actually trying to find the repo. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can open that up.
I just pasted in the chat. I'm guessing we're talking about the
Oh,
Lance.
I
I think
see.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah,
like there's
this
like
is-
4 or 5 months ago some PRs and then nothing since then.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess it'd be, I don't know, does anyone have thoughts on that?
I mean,
Uh,
is it in like the LanceDB organization?
Under the LanceDB organization, I think it's currently a, what's the word?
I think
Subproject.
Subproject, yeah, is that what we're using?
Yeah, I'm like blanking on yeah, is it subproject or like incubating subproject?
Let's see. We call it subprojects. I mean, our rules say we still need a PMC vote to release new versions of subprojects. So it seems we would need at least one PMC involved. Also one PMC for subproject management. So I think, I mean, at the very least, it seems like due diligence, one person from the PMC should go through and look at the changes that have been made and make sure that there's been a few valid changes before granting write permissions. Do we have any PMC that know much about Flink?
Who is the current committer about this project now? Is from Uber or some other company?
It looks like all the commits have been from one user.
One user. Okay.
Uh,
I'm not even sure that person's on GitHub anymore.
yeah, it looks like their GitHub account's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could we just transfer the project out of LanceDB or Lance format and make it like a community donated away, I guess? Or I can try, I mean, we can try and
I
dig
think
someone
it's
up.
more like.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think that it's more like an incubator project, but we don't have such thing called incubator in Lance format. We just not recognize it as a sub project of Lance.
So I think we'll need someone in the circle of trust. Sorry. So I don't think we can. I don't think we can just grant governance on this without moving it out of Lance format or finding someone in the PMC that can do some due diligence on the repo.
Okay. So are you saying have someone on the PMC review PRs in the near term, and then eventually we can given a few good PRs, we can grant committer status on this repo or just generally?
Yeah, on this repo. I mean, even a sub-project, we're making some amount of, I think we have some amount of responsibility if the sub-project ends up being some kind of, token stealing malware. That would be, I feel like we would be partially responsible for having that within our organization.
Okay.
Now, 99%, that's not what's going on here, but without someone to look at it. Yeah, our Java bench on the PMC is very. Maybe we can also look at whoever has write privileges that interacts with Java and see if there's anyone that could be raised to PMC, or we could look at our PMC and see if there's anyone who's maybe not very active in these meetings that does Java that would be willing to take this on. So let's do some outreach.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. That sounds good. Anything else we wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I want to talk a bit about one of my experimental project called CuVS. It's an integration project that combined with Lance and CuVS. So basically, I want to build some bridge between CuVS. CuVS is written in libc, and I want to call its API from Rust directly, but I also don't want to depending on CuVS in Lance. So I built this project and released it as a separate Python project, so that we can install PyLance CuVS along with PyLance. So it's still in the very early stage of this project, and the related PR in Lance is under review. So there's nothing we need to discuss or to make decision here, just to keep you know about this project.
That's really cool. Have you run any benchmarks on it?
Yeah, I did run some benchmark at the more early stage that it can speed up by 30% with a good GPU. But I will run another benchmark after the PR is in a more mature stage.
Mm-hmm.
Is speeding up the training time?
Yeah, both the training and the building. And there is also another discussion about support a new vector index called Carga. It's another index supported by CuVS. So I expect them to submit the PR to this project, so we can use them in Python.
I mean, I think what you've done is cool. I'm very curious if anyone ever has time of like, can we accelerate search with the GPU? I'm thinking of the case where the index is like not that big, so millions of rows maybe, and we want really, really high QPS. Because it seems like the index could fit onto the GPU in its entirety. And then like we are, in that case, CPU bound on the PQ search in, if we were to actually try this with CPUs. So it seems like a case where we could potentially raise the queries per second of a node dramatically if the GPU could speed things up. There's not a lot of I/O that goes into the GPU either. It would just be the query vector that has to go into the GPU and then the results that come back.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to explore those things.
But I think what you've done so far is great. I haven't looked at the code, but it seems like we should be able to do some considerable acceleration with CuVS, unless we're I/O bound, pulling the vectors back. In which case, if we are, we can speed that up. Like we haven't really tried because we've been compute bound in the past, but there's a lot of things we can do to speed that up, I think.
Cool.
Okay. No updates from my side.
Cool. Well, I think if there's nothing else, we can end the meeting early. Sound good? All right. Take care, everyone.